Kalala Yahweh. Bo Suma Mashak Yahusha. Shema Yasharahla Yahweh Alhayana Wakadabo Mashbaka. Shalom, may peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. There's a lot going on right now. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. But in the midst of everything that's going on, it's been put on my spirit to do this particular meditation. Now, as you know, this past Shabbat, there has been operations of war taking place in the quote unquote Middle East by the United States and the state of Israel. And over that time period, this weekend, there's been an exchange of missile launchings in between Iran and the state of Israel. So, we're not going to particularly be on that subject in this meditation. However, it is something to take in consideration. You'll get further details on it if you look on the Instagram page that is posted in the community section. Just go to the link, and if you're not following now, go ahead and follow so you can stay up to date with continuous edification of the post and the reels on that particular platform. We're going to go ahead and start in Luke 21 at verse 12 and just focus on down from Luke 21 verse 12. And it reads, "But before all these things, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony." As we read this by Yahweh, everybody that's in the truth, we can relate to this verse here. Because while you're in the truth, there's many people who are maybe associates, family members, relatives, etc., that are of this world indeed. And that may have took adversity on you in many different forms because of what you stand for. Now, these same individuals during the moments of Jacob's trouble escalating, these same individuals will turn on you as such. Now, we know this already happened. This happened several times. But nonetheless, speaking of the future, it'll happen again. And however, we experienced a degree of this that has turned to a testimony for us being in this truth. Because again, these same people who have turned on us for our strong belief in the book as is, they will do these things in that time period. So we have no other choice but to be wary of those who are of the world. Let's get a particular precept to this. All right, for further edification, we're going to go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 24 through 25 to expound on what Yahushua is speaking here. As it reads, verse 24, "The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord." So The same thing happened to Yahushua when it was set for him to be our sacrifice, right? He was delivered up by his own people. Okay, he was delivered up to the Romans by his own people. And we follow that same testimony with the adversity that we face from our relatives, our friends, for being in this truth. It's a mirror enactment. Verse 25, it is enough for the disciple that he be as his master and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household? So yes, they indeed called Yahushua a devil. They said he had a devil. They said he was crazy. They said he worked sorcery, and nothing was holy about him. And we can relate to that because we have people in our lives who think the same of us for knowing this truth. Just take a moment to see how crazy that is. People who don't have as much biblical knowledge as you deem you evil, yet you know way more about the kingdom than them. And the reason for that is they did it to Yahushua himself. And we're not above Yahushua. Akyam, we're not above him. He is our head, right? He is our leader. So we're not above him. And if we're truly of his fold, we will experience the same manner of persecution as he did and as the prophets before did. Now here's further context to that, right? In John 15, verses 14 through 19. Yahushua says, ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. So yeah, Yahushua sees many of us as his friends, right? For having that faith in him and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Father, with all our might, all our strength. He sees us as indeed friends and not just followers of Mashiach. He sees us as friends. I want y'all to take a moment and really soak that in, right? Soak it in and own it. That you are considered a friend of Yahushua HaMashiach in his eyes. Verse 15, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. So many of us are more than servants in Yahushua's eyes. To this day, many of us are more than servants. We are considered friends to Hamashiach Yahushua. So take a moment, really soak that in and own it. That you may possibly be seen as a friend to Yahushua. And if you're seen as a friend to Yahushua, how much more favor do you have in the eyes of Yahweh? Abba Nawa, right? Verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go out, ye shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Again, that's that favor being displayed here. If you're in this truth and you're doing all that Yahweh commands us to do, you know, you're following the law, sections, commandments, you're keeping his faith, and, you know, being as a good soldier of Mashiach, right? He considers you a friend, and he also considers you chosen of him. See, that's the thing that the world doesn't truly get. They think that they can push Mashiach onto the masses, and the masses accept Mashiach, okay? For lack of better terms, and not the literal terms that they use. But they feel that they can push him onto others and they accept him. No, it doesn't work that way. Yahweh Shai chooses who he chooses and ordains who he ordains. Nobody can just choose him. And that's more so the doctrine of the Nicolaitans that tell people to choose the Messiah. The Messiah does the choosing. So if someone's not in the truth, no, someone's not following the law, statutes, and commandments and keeping the faith of the Messiah, they're not chosen to do so. This is why you don't go out and about and try to force the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai onto people. Those who are chosen will receive it. Verse 17, these things I command you that ye love one another. Verse 18, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Now this is another, let me get a separation there for y'all. This is another scripture or verse that the world completely takes out of context, right? They completely take it out. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. When he says this, he's speaking of the Israelites, okay? He's speaking of the Israelites because we all know that the world hates a particular type of people. And he was speaking of Yasharahla when he says, if the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you. All right? So I want to get that understood and clarified. Furthermore, verse 19, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So that explains why you go through what you go through with certain individuals. That explains why you experience what you experience with certain individuals, why they have such an attitude towards you, right? You know, it's spiritual. It's spiritual. People that you may not even know, they have something against you. It's spiritual because they are of the world. And the filthiness of the world is on them. Therefore, those wicked spirits are on them and they cause adversity towards you. So, also, verse 18, verse 19, it plays further. It plays further into the law here. And I'm going to go to that particular verse in the law as to why the world hates you. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 7. Starting there. For what nation is there so great who hath Allahaya so nigh unto them as Yahweh Allahayanawa, is in all things that we call upon him for. Verse 8, and what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as this law which I set before you this day? So the law of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh was given to the Israelites. And because we didn't follow that law, right, our ancestors, our forefathers, because they chose to do wickedly and follow after the other nations, that's why we're in the conditions that we are now in as a whole. So that explains that. Verse 6 gives you a little bit more context there. I'll back up to that. Verse 6 right here. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. But because we did not keep these statutes, judgments, and commandments, they see us opposite. And that's all through the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Okay? As it told here in verse 5, we'll back up. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh Allahayanawa commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go and possess it. Go to possess it, Salakia. So that's a further breakdown. Furthermore, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh the Elohim. Yahweh the Elohim hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So spiritually, we have that favoritism, which leads to that hatred. Spiritually. So that gives you further understanding of that hatred throughout the world. Nonetheless, I want to get back to the meditation through the spirit that came up. Yeah, if ye were of the world love his own. But because ye are not of the world, Salat, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So there you have it. Verse 14. Settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And that's this truth. That's this truth. When you learn this truth, that's how it is. No matter what, no matter if they hear or forbear, that's what it is. They can't gainsay or resist it because it's spiritual. This word is a weapon toward those who are adversaries. It's a weapon. Verse 16. And ye shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. Again, it will get to that point. You know, we've already faced betrayal by these same people to some form or fashion, and to some degree. But when things get escalated, they'll deliver you up. Oh yeah, I know them. They believe in the way of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, let's turn them in. Let's get some reward money. That's in the escalation of Jacob's trouble. That could happen. It will happen. Verse 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Again, there you have it. That's further explanation of the precepts we went through in Luke 21 verse 12 with the context added to it by those scriptures. Yahushua puts further emphasis on that. He says, verse 18, but there shall not an hair of your head perish, meaning will be covered. Some may be caused to be put to death. You know, that's all by the discretion of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But verse 19, it gives us a commandment. He says, in your patience, possess ye your souls. So what is he talking about here? Possess ye your souls in your patience. Deuteronomy 4:9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. That is possessing your soul, taking heed to yourself and keeping your soul diligently. That is possessing your soul in your patience. Lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. So if you're not keeping your soul diligently, if you're not possessing your soul diligently, you will fall out the truth. You'll get sifted out. And everybody who falls out and gets sifted out, they were not chosen. They were called, but they were not chosen. So keep that in remembrance, because you got to stay diligent. You got to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua with gladness and joyfulness of heart and thanksgiving. Yeah, we want to make our requests known to the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, but at the same time, we want to stay joyful that we're able to praise him. We want to be thankful and remain thankful and full of gratitude for the blessings that he give us each and every day. Otherwise, it'll be stripped from you and you won't be able to teach this to your next generations. That's all I have. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Shalom.